Diary entry number 8. Knock, knock. Who's there? In the heart of old London, I found myself intrigued with an ancient house with a dark past. The moment I stepped over the threshold, a shiver danced down my spine. It wasn't just the chill of the night. It was because I could hardly contain my excitement. Upon entering the house, it was as if the very walls held their breath, whispering secrets that history had long forgotten. My name is Oliver, and I'm an enthusiast of the mystical. Moving into this old estate had been a thrill, a chance to live in the home of a notorious figure from the past. Little did I know that this decision would plunge me into a nightmare beyond my wildest imagination. At first, it was subtle, a creak in the floorboards, a whisper in the shadows. I brushed it off as the quirks of an ancient house. But then, the knocks began. Every night, without fail, a precise rap echoed through the halls. At 3 a.m., I would bolt awake, heart racing, only to find the halls empty. It was like clockwork, each knock sending a shiver down my spine. Curiosity consumed me. My curiosity got the better of me. I delved into the history of the house, discovering the dark legacy it held. The former owner, a figure reminiscent of one of London's most prolific serial killers, who had preyed upon unsuspecting victims, taunting them with a 3 a.m. knock before striking. Haunted by these revelations, I started exploring every nook and cranny of the house. It was during one such exploration that I stumbled upon a hidden compartment, concealed behind a false wall in the basement. My heart hammered in my chest as I pried it open, revealing a trove of bones. It was remnants of the killer's grisly past. The house wasn't just haunted by memories, but the spirit of the killer lingered, feeding off the fear it instilled. Fear clutched at me like icy fingers as I realized the position I had gotten myself into. But I refused to be a victim. Armed with knowledge from my research and a determination to survive, I prepared for a showdown with the malevolent entity. The atmosphere inside the house grew thick with anticipation. As the clock struck 3 a.m., the knocks echoed with emphatic resonance, signaling the arrival of the hostile spirit. Shadows coiled and twisted, converging into a ghastly manifestation that materialized before me. A haunting specter bearing the visage of the notorious killer. My pulse quickened, but I stood my ground, holding tight to the knowledge I'd gathered about the spirit's vulnerabilities. The entity, fueled by centuries of malice, exuded a palpable aura of malevolence. Its eyes, dark voids devoid of humanity, fixated on me with an intensity that sent a chill down my spine. With every fiber of my being trembling, I invoked the ancient rites and incantations, a blend of arcane symbols and whispered words passed down through generations. The air crackled with an spiritual energy as I chanted, each syllable resonating with resolve. The spirit retaliated, yet, fueled by a fierce determination to end the cycle of terror. I pressed on, channeling every ounce of strength and willpower. As the ritual reached its crescendo, a blinding light erupted from the symbols etched in the room, engulfing the malevolent entity in a radiant glow. The spirit writhed and shrieked, its form dissipating into fragments of shadow, before finally dissipating into the ethereal light. For a moment, silence reigned. The malevolent presence that had plagued the house for so long had been vanquished, or so I thought. Exhausted, but victorious, I collapsed to my knees, the weight of the ordeal finally lifting from my shoulders. The victory over the malevolent spirit didn't bring the peace I had hoped for. Instead, and strange silence enveloped the house, replacing the once persistent knocks with an unsettling stillness. It was as if the darkness had merely retreated, biding its time, waiting for the perfect moment to strike back. Sleep became an elusive luxury. Nightmares plagued my every moment of rest, visions of the killer's victims and their anguished faces haunting me relentlessly. Shadows danced on the walls, twisting into grotesque shapes that seemed to mock my futile attempts at banishing the lingering evil. As my previous attempts to vanquish the spirit seemed to be futile, I delved deeper into the house's history, uncovering diaries hidden away in forgotten corners. The scribbled confessions of the killer detailed unspeakable acts, his words dripping with sadistic glee. as he recounted the torment he inflicted upon his prey. The more I learned, the more I realized the magnitude of the horror that had saturated every inch of the estate. One stormy night, as lightning streaked across the sky, the house seemed to come alive. Whispers echoed through the corridors, and the air crackled with a supernatural energy. I knew then that the malevolent spirit had returned, thirsting for vengeance, desperate to end the nightmare once and for all. I sought guidance from occult texts and ancient rituals, armed with candles, symbols drawn in salt, and incantations muttered under my breath. I prepared for a confrontation unlike any other. The clock struck 3 a.m., and the familiar knocks resonated through the house, but this time, they were accompanied by chilling laughter that sent shivers down my spine. The walls groaned, the floorboards creaked, and the very foundation of the house seemed to tremble in anticipation. The spectre materialized before me, its form twisted and contorted, an embodiment of pure malevolence. Its eyes, hollow voids devoid of humanity, fixated on me with an intense hunger. With trembling hands, I began the ritual, each incantation spoken with unwavering resolve. The air crackled with energy as the symbols glowed and the candles flickered, warding off the darkness inch by inch. But the spirit fought back with an intensity that shook me to my core. Shadows lashed out, clawing at me with strength and ferocity I had never felt before. They whipped me around the room in attempts to weaken me. The laughter grew louder, echoing through the halls like a symphony of terror. In a moment of desperation, I channeled every ounce of strength and determination within me. With a final invocation, the light erupted, piercing through the darkness and engulfing the malevolent entity in a blinding flash. When the light faded, silence descended upon the house once more. This time, it was a peaceful silence, a tranquility that I had yearned for since stepping foot into this haunted abode. Exhausted but victorious, I emerged from the harrowing ordeal, knowing that my mission had only just begun. The experience fueled my obsession with uncovering the secrets of haunted properties, seeking out malevolent spirits, and bringing closure to their restless souls. Armed with my newfound knowledge and a resolve forged in the crucible of fear, I ventured forth into the world, seeking haunted abodes and confronting the darkness that dwelled within. Each encounter was a battle, but I was determined to be a hunter of malevolent spirits, a beacon of light in the shadows, bringing peace to the tormented souls trapped between worlds.